What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good, whatever day it happens to be when I upload this. Welcome back to another episode of not walk and talk, but drive and talk. I got this cool little phone handle thing for my car. Looks like it's gonna be a little jiggly, but we'll figure it out. I think it'll be cool in the long run. I'm jiggling. What I wanted to talk about today is I know the title of this video is going to come off as a little clickbaity, and if your inclination is that I was going to give you some like pro musician tip and some practice secret and learn to play the violin in a week or whatever, that's not at all. It has nothing to do with that. So sorry. But the title's a little clickbaity maybe, but it's accurate to what I'm going to be talking about. And my intention is not to get all mushy with you guys, although I think the content of of what I'm about to talk about, it's a little deep, I guess I'll say. But we've all been there, I think. So as you guys probably know, Beethoven was a really sort of tragic figure. He's obviously an incredible composer, but just an all-around sad guy. And that was due to many different things. There was a girl that he loved, the love of his life, the one that, not even the one that got away, it was like the one he could never attain, but he always loved her until the day he died. So obviously the main thing that he's known for is, of course, the deafness. He went deaf. I think people know this. He wasn't born deaf, obviously, but he became deaf later in life. And at that point, he was such a well-read, talented composer that he could still write, but he never got to see the final product, like he knew what things would sound like, but he never got to hear them, which is tragic. It's like if you're a script writer and you can write all these scripts that would be really good movies, but you never get to see the movies. And people get to watch them, but you don't get to watch them. So it's pretty shitty. And he really, all those things combined, I think really, really got to him and made him like a understandably bitter person. Sorry, it's kind of dark in here, but as long as you can hear me, you don't have to see my fat face. As long as you can hear me, that's all good. It made him a bitter person. And one thing they found after he died of like lead poisoning or something. They found in his dresser an unfinished letter that was addressed to his brothers, that had basically said all of the above that we had just discussed. All these terrible things were going on in his life. Most of it was centered around his deafness, and how there was one line where he talks about how when people talk to him on the street, he can't bring himself to tell them to like speak louder because everyone knows him as a composer, and he sees it as very shameful that the one thing, the key to his success, his ability to hear, is so weakened and waning and dying and fading away that he can't even bring himself to like tell people to speak up. So he just has to like, I don't know, he just like doesn't respond to them. And I think you get the sense that everyone thinks he's this kind of weird, like pissed off, secluded hermit, which he is, but for reasons that they're not aware of at the time, because he just couldn't bring himself to tell people about his issue, his deafness. And he says that he wants to commit suicide. He wants to end his life. He's like, he says that his work is the only thing that's keeping him alive. And, then he says once he's produced, I don't mean produced, obviously, as in, like, financing something, but, produced is just as in, putting something from his mind onto paper. Once he's produced all of the musical ideas that he has, that he's gonna like end it. He thinks of it as like, I'm gonna give all I have to offer the world, and then I'm gonna kill myself because I hate this situation I'm in. And not to be like boo-hoo me, I think most of us easily have at one point at least thought that, hey, suicide would be nice. It would be nice to just kind of be done. And while I've never been in a single instant in time where I think I would like to die now, thankfully, I have, especially in high school, I thought exactly the same way as Beethoven. I thought, because I'm always writing like books and scripts and making music, and for a while I had like one book I was in the middle of finishing, and then a series of like orchestra pieces that I was working on, and I really did think like, okay, after I've completed these things, I can die. Because high school, I think we all hated high school, right? But I really, I don't know, man. I had a tough time. It wasn't all the high school. It was me. I was kind of I was a fucked up person in a lot of ways, and I brought stuff down on myself, and I was hard on myself in a lot of ways. But I remember distinctly thinking that for a long while. And then, of course, thank God, another idea comes up. And whether or not you finished what you were already working on, you inevitably got to at least take a stab at this new idea. So basically that snowballs into you're not actually ever going to kill yourself, because there's always that next project. And, you know, thank God for that. First of all, I want to say that it was one of those moments. I was in a music history class, and we were listening to this lecture about Beethoven, and we got to that part about, you know, that letter, and it was almost like, it's like when you're reading something when you're reading a book and you're kind of zoning out, but then you read a passage that really kind of sticks with you personally, and then it kind of like wakes you up, and then you like refocus, and you're like, wow, that is relatable. That's kind of the moment I had when we were talking about that letter that Beethoven had written and never sent to his brothers. Yeah, I was just like another day in class. I was taking notes. I wasn't really paying attention. But then we got to that, and I was like, oh my God, that was completely me for like years and years and years. So I think, that being said, so many of us want to kill ourselves these days. So many of us are under the impression that we wish it would end. And I think that's because it's not only that our lifestyle is of such high quality, but it is. But so much has been discovered and so much has been conquered that it's hard to make new ground. I think those two things are at play. Where, you know, back in the day, if you could, like, basic hygiene and a full stomach, and you're fucking happy, right? But nowadays, most of us don't even think about those things. It's just the way we are always. The other thing is, yeah, significant discoveries and important works of either art or whatever were kind of being found, being created, being attained fairly quickly. In like the early 1900s, there was this boom of progress in all fronts. And now we're at a point where it's really hard to make your mark. It's really hard to cover new ground because so much ground has been covered. So I think we not only feel kind of numb because things are always at that same height. We always have a full belly. We're always healthy. We always got a roof over our heads. But we feel like we're making no progress, because progress, real, you know, progress, individual success is hard to attain these days. It's really fucking hard to do because, again, so much has been done. But I think looking at what saved Beethoven and what made me stop that whole line of thought was the very fact that we just keep doing what we want to do. You have to have a focus. You have to have not even a hobby, but just a love. You need a passion for something that you truly have this undying love for no matter what. When I write my novels, I'm not thinking that a bunch of people are going to read this. I really like it. You know, it's great if someone does, but that's not why I'm writing it. I'm writing it because, well, for one, it puts me in a new world. It's almost like when you sit down to play like a big open world RPG. Suddenly the world is gone and you're part of this new, fresh world. Writing, like creative writing, is very, very similar to that in my mind. And also, I do think I have, things to say, and whether or not anyone reads this book, I'm still proud of it. So there's a lot of effort. This person's not moving. Hey, buddy, go! My horn doesn't work. I gotta yell at people. There's a lot of effort, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of love that goes into writing these books. And same with my music. Like, when I make a tune, I'm not like, I don't write it thinking like, ooh, I wrote this one so I know it's gonna blow up. I have friends who really do like write songs and tailor the writing process around trying to make them like accessible so they will blow up. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to make what I believe is a good song, and I don't care what anyone else thinks of it. And that's fine. Like, I'm proud of my tunes. I think they're good. Most things in life, I'm shitty at. I'm shitty at playing video games. I'm shitty at whatever. But like, my music is fucking good. And so if you have something that you can back, that you love, that you have created or are a part of, that you believe in, then you're gonna be okay. But you need that. You need that to keep going. Because without that, yeah, it's like the world is a mess. We feel like we're not being heard and no one cares. But you need something. You need some focus. I think a lot of people just get like a good paying job and a family and they're like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's not enough. You need something for you. As long as you have that, you'll be okay. But if you don't have that, things are going to be tough. Anyway, crazy talk, but it needed to be had. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree, you disagree, and I will see you later.